Happy Friday, Valpo. As Homecoming Week 2019 comes to an end, it is Sparked Friday for the first time this school year. We've got a wonderful show for you all tonight and are looking forward to a great fall full of some of the latest technological breakthroughs both on campus and across the country. While Apple continues to churn out new iPhones year after year, why is this year's phone changing the game altogether? July 8th, 2011, the last time astronauts launched from U.S. soil. But the wait won't be much longer. Find out more later tonight as we debut our new segment, The Race for Space. And on the way in today's Fast Five, how McDonald's is making a fast forward in the fast food game and video game companies that are bringing back childhood games with a spin. Welcome to Sparked. The show keeping you up to date on the world of science, technology, and innovation is here tonight, this Friday. Tonight's episode is titled, What's Next? Not only do we look ahead at the future of personal technology, but what can we as a society hope to accomplish in both the short and long term? Innovation is looking forward, resisting the urge to stay content while seeking new solutions to old problems. Let's start off this fall, as we always do, and dive right into the Fast Five tech stories from the past week. McDonald's is hoping new technology at the drive-thru will have you saying, I'm loving it. The fast food giant agreed to buy a startup called Apprente. The company specializes in conversational voice-based ordering technology. Yep, that means going through the drive-thru will be high-tech. The hope is it'll make ordering faster, easier, and more accurate, and apparently it even understands different accents. No word on how many jobs might be lost or when this latest technology will hit your Mickey D's drive-thru. And Nintendo is hoping to appeal to gamers on the go with a smaller, lighter, and cheaper version of its Switch. The company launched a new iteration of the popular console, and it called it the Switch Lite. It plays all the same games as the standard machine, but it weighs less and its screen is almost an inch smaller. Also, the Switch Lite's controllers don't detach or vibrate, and you can't play it on a television. Well, for those compromises, you can pick one up for $100 less than the $300 price tag of a standard Switch. Nintendo also tweaked the controller a bit, substituting 4 directional buttons on the left for a control pad. The company says players can expect longer battery life from the Switch Lite. The new handheld does not replace the original console. Both versions of the popular system are available in stores. The Switch Lite release comes a day after Sega released a miniature but not portable version of its retro Genesis console. And that's what we're going to get to next as number 3. Don't call it a comeback, but Sega is going old school. The console maker from the 16-bit era of video games just unveiled a mini Genesis console that inspired by its original system. Sega Genesis made its North American debut in 1989, and in addition to the console, the company is also bringing back some of its classic games like Sonic the Hedgehog and Castlevania Bloodlines. The price tag for the Mini is $79.99. It comes with 42 games pre-installed and 2 simple controllers. The console can be hooked up directly into a TV with the controllers plugged in using a USB. Some analysts say this flashback won't make too much of an impression with consumers. I disagree. I'm a big fan of the Sega Genesis. And at number 2, Facebook's latest purchase. The social media company acquires Control Labs, a brain-machine interface startup that lets users control devices by tapping signals off a wristband. Facebook bought the company Monday, and now Facebook will literally be inside your head. This company uses both machine learning and neuroscience to let people manipulate computer interfaces by using brain power. It captures your intention, so you can share a photo with a friend using an imperceptible movement or just by, well, intending to. says Facebook's VP of AR/VR, Andrew Bosworth, in a statement about the company's new toy. This band looks like a very unfashionable watch, but it detects signals your brain sends to your hand and then sends that signal to a phone or computer. You're essentially able to control a machine by just thinking that you want to move your hand in a certain way. This technology will still raise ethical questions from users if Facebook does decide to use this technology. And number one, Google is introducing its own subscription game service. Google Play Pass will give Android users access to more than 350 apps and games for just under $5 a month. Everything is free of ads, in-app purchases, and upfront payments. It'll cost $4.99 per month, the same price as Apple Arcade. The move comes just days after the launch of Apple Arcade, which we're going to talk about later, and offers a catalog of over 100 exclusive games for the same price as Google Play Pass. Both companies say new additions will be made to the services each month. Well, that's it for this week's Fast Five. Next up, all things Apple and Amazon. You won't want to go away. Sparked returns after the break. Stick with us.
Knock, knock.
Hey, Blake.
Well, hey there, Sophie. Why the long face?
There's nothing good on.
Well, have you tried movies.valpo.edu?
Movies.valpo.edu?
It's free, and you can stream hundreds of your favorite movies like Baby Driver and A Star is Born.
Thanks, Blake. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Wait a second. I knew I was sitting on something.
Enjoying Sparked? Well, if you want to catch more of me, check out my new show, 15 in the Morning. This week, life gave us some lemons, and we made some of the world's greatest lemonade. Make sure to check it out at valpovutv.org/morning.
Have you seen Jack? I don't know how to tell you this. I saw him, but he was with Tracy. They were watching movies.valpo.edu.
What were they watching?
It's impossible to say. With 100 titles, from Get Out to Riverdale, they could be watching anything, anywhere on campus for free.
Welcome back. Apple reveals a number of new products that fans say are anything but sour. Well, recently, the tech giant unveiled a new iPhone they claim will revolutionize the media industry and announced they're breaking into the streaming service game. Britt Conway has the latest.
Despite slumping iPhone sales, Apple is cranking it up all the way to 11.
This is iPhone 11.
Which has 2 cameras. And if 2's not enough,
1, 2, 3.
the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max have 3. Well, 4 if you include the selfie cam.
It's a device that pros can count on to get their work done.
Apple is hoping the new iPhones will change the media industry forever with the ability to shoot 3 to 4 different ways at once.
Telephoto, wide, and new ultra-wide cameras.
Next up, let's talk about Apple TV Plus.
Apple also revealed new details about their streaming service with original shows and movies. Apple TV Plus is going to be available in more than 100 countries.
And it is just $4.99 per month.
The company also announced a new Apple Watch,
featuring an innovative new display that is always on,
a new iPad, and in what could be a sign of the company shifting focus, a new gaming subscription.
Apple Arcade.
I'm Britt Conway, reporting.
Apple fans rejoice. Let's go deeper into the newest generation of Apple iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch. Well, as always, the new iPhones have better battery life. new camera systems, and upgraded hardware, like you just saw just a moment ago, 3 cameras on the back of the phone. The iPhone 11 is expected to cost you $699, while the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max will cost $999 and $1,099 respectively. Apple also announced a new 7th generation iPad and an updated version of its Apple Watch. The iPad has a larger screen, while the Series 5 smartwatch has a display that's always on. Not only is Apple releasing the new iPhone 11, it's also opening its redesigned 5th Avenue store in New York. Apple has been renovating the store for 2 whole years, and the redesign includes a major store expansion to nearly twice its original size. The store also features nearly 30 trees in a spiral staircase made out of stainless steel. The lights in the store change color depending on the time of day and amount of sunlight coming from the windows. They turn bluish in the morning and grow warmer at night. One of the store's top designers says about a quarter of the store is free space for customers to interact and socialize. And moving over now to Amazon, they are looking to expand Alexa despite safety concerns. They held a product launch last Wednesday that debuted Alexa will now be in earbuds and maybe even robots. Alexa first came into the technology world in 2014 and has faced many issues since convincing millions of Americans to invite Alexa into their homes. Even though there are concerns lurking around Alexa, many people have purchased Amazon Echo devices, and the company has noticed them fly off their shelves, especially on Prime Day. Out of 76 million smart speakers in the US, 70% are Echo devices, according to consumer intelligence research partners. Not only is Amazon looking to expand their Echo devices during this launch, but there has been quite a buzz around wearable devices powered by Alexa-like glasses and earbuds that resemble AirPods from Apple. The biggest buzz yet is an Alexa-powered home robot on wheels that Bloomberg had reported in July. Well, according to both Amazon and Google, people shouldn't be worried about privacy concerns because only about 1% of voice recordings are listened to. Overall, big new technology is constantly expanding in the Amazon world. And here's a cool one for you. Amazon is also purchasing 100,000 Rivian electric vans, which happens to be their largest order of electric delivery vehicles ever. CEO Jeff Bezos said that last Thursday, Amazon ordered 100,000 electric delivery vehicles from startup Rivian. That's a push to have the company run on renewable energy. The prototypes will be hitting the road this year and will be fully deployed by 2024. This purchase is one step for the company's delivery fleet to be 100% renewable energy by 2030. Amazon already runs 40% of their fleet on renewable energy. 2 of Valpo's leading student space experts take the stage to discuss the latest advancements and upcoming events in the space industry right after the break. Stick with us.
Probably the same amount of delta V, might just have less thrust. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't have the numbers, but
Yeah.
Knock, knock.
Hey, Blake.
Well, hey there, Sophie. Why the long face?
There's nothing good on.
Well, have you tried movies.valpo.edu?
Movies.valpo.edu?
It's free, and you can stream hundreds of your favorite movies like Baby Driver and A Star is Born.
Thanks, Blake. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Wait a second. I knew I was sitting on something.
Enjoying Sparked? Well, if you want to catch more of me, check out my new show, 15 in the Morning. This week, life gave us some lemons, and we made some of the world's greatest lemonade. Make sure to check it out at valpovutv.org/morning.
Have you seen Jack? I don't know how to tell you this. I saw him, but he was with Tracy. They were watching movies.valpo.edu.
What were they watching?
It's impossible to say. With 100 titles, from Get Out to Riverdale, they could be watching anything, anywhere on campus for free.
Well, you could say things are getting a little more concrete on the International Space Station. Why? Well, astronauts there have been doing research experiments in the floating lab every day. And for the very first time, they've made concrete. It's called Microgravity Investigation of Cement Solidification Project. That's a tongue twister. And it was done to understand how the chemistry of concrete is changed by zero gravity. According to NASA, it's important to understand how concrete works in space because it could affect future plans regarding the moon and Mars. The space station mixtures were compared to samples mixed on Earth. Turns out the lack of gravity there changes everything. The cement paste on space ended up being more porous, which affects its strength. One scientist back on Earth says now they know there are some differences between Earth and space-based systems, and they can examine those differences to see which is better for space. You can read more about that in this week's journal, Frontiers and Materials. Last year, we watched as SpaceX Demo Mission 1 tested the Crew Dragon. Well, later this fall, a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket will launch a Crew Dragon spacecraft on its first test flight with astronauts on board to the International Space Station under the auspices of NASA's Commercial Crew Program. NASA astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken will fly on the Demo 2 mission. The Crew Dragon will return to a splashdown at sea and has been delayed from July 25th and September 21st. Well, I sat down this week with Sparked Space correspondents Craig Behnke and Sarah Kukul to answer the question of what's next for space exploration.
NASA we haven't launched people from American soil since the shuttle program ended in 2011. And so there are a lot of new players coming into the scene. It's not just NASA anymore. NASA is contracting out to a lot of other people because they're very qualified, very competent, and they can make the vehicles for us. They can design and help us with that process. And so big players like Boeing and SpaceX, everyone knows SpaceX, and Boeing's into the game, and Amazon's company, or Jeff Bezos' company, Blue Origin is getting into the play of just commercial space. So yeah, it's a lot more than just NASA and the space race now.
And kind of the official demarcation line right now is that all these commercial companies are taking over so that, the commercial industry will be servicing low Earth orbit. Whereas NASA is able to start looking at the moon and start looking at Mars and be able to do the big, awesome Apollo-style missions that we kind of want out of it.
We have 6 astronauts on ISS right now, orbiting the Earth, like right now. And I don't know if there are maybe a lot of people that don't know that, but there's more to the space program. There's more to ISS. There's more to like just going to the moon or going to Mars than just putting people out there. We're doing so much research, conducting so much research on ISS, and it's not just about, how do people adapt in space, because some people think, we don't need to go to space, so why do we need to care how people adapt in space or zero gravity? But we're learning a lot about, just for a big example, osteoporosis, and how bones decay on the ground, and so what only happens as you get older, and it's really, really hard to fix. And we actually see that in astronauts that go up to ISS because they're using their muscles less often. They're not walking. There's no gravity exerted on them. So they're also developing early osteoporosis. And so we're seeing how can we fix that problem. We can observe them for a longer period of time. And just so osteoporosis is an example. There are just a lot of different things that we can learn on station, and there are certain experiments that operate better in zero gravity than on the ground. And so we can learn so much. It's not just about like what cool things can we do in space. We're learning so much that we can use on the ground, just in understanding how people fit in the world, how our world works, and everything beyond that. And it's not just doing cool things in space. It's about learning as much as we can, and that's exactly what we're doing in ISS, and that's exactly what kind of society we want to live in where we're not explorers.
Yeah.
That's my big drive.
For me, space is the next big opportunity. I mean, you go back to 1492, Columbus sailed across the ocean blue and discovered America. What would have happened if we had not gone back? What world would we have lived in where we never had, we had never explored the Americas? We had never launched the Lewis and Clark expedition. We had never done anything like that because we decided, hey, we've been there. We're good. We don't need to go back anymore. That's where we're at now, is we're moving forward, and we sailed across the Black Ocean to get to the moon. And then we came back, and we've been getting ready. We've been learning all those things so that we can go back this time to stay. And so now we get to go back, and we're going to be starting a new era of human development, honestly, where we're going to have eventually civilizations on other bodies. Like, totally slower than light. We're probably going to have bases on the moon. We can have bases on Mars. We can go out to the moons of Saturn, and we can go to Jupiter. Who knows, maybe we'll have floating cities in Venus. Like, we can do a whole bunch of things, but we need to go.
Mm-hmm.
If we just stay here and think about it, nothing will ever get done. And as Elon Musk loves to say, we need to be a multiplanetary species. I'm a little more optimistic, whereas like, I think we're gonna be fine either way, but which is more exciting? Which is more fun? We need to go out there, we need to build these things so that at the end of the day, we can say that we've tried.
Yeah.
Because even if it's less safe, it still is worth doing.
Knock, knock.
Hey, Blake.
Well, hey there, Sophie. Why the long face?
There's nothing good on.
Well, have you tried movies.valpo.edu?
Movies.valpo.edu?
It's free, and you can stream hundreds of your favorite movies like Baby Driver and A Star is Born.
Thanks, Blake. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Wait a second. I knew I was sitting on something.
Enjoying Sparked? Well, if you want to catch more of me, check out my new show, 15 in the Morning. This week, life gave us some lemons, and we made some of the world's greatest lemonade. Make sure to check it out at valpovutv.org/morning.
Have you seen Jack? I don't know how to tell you this. I saw him, but he was with Tracy. They were watching movies.valpo.edu.
What were they watching?
It's impossible to say. With 100 titles, from Get Out to Riverdale, they could be watching anything, anywhere on campus for free.
Tomorrow morning, the Valpo Robotics football team competes in Hilltop Gym as part of the campus homecoming festivities. Alumni of the Valpo Robotics football teams compete against current members in a hard-hitting, motor-burning, adrenaline-pumping robotics football game. After falling to Notre Dame last April in the final 38-21, Valpo Robotics is fresh off a 5-game road trip to Milwaukee just 2 weeks ago and is working hard to take back the national championship this spring. And the quote of the day, the advance of technology is based on making it fit in so that you don't really even notice it. So it's part of everyday life. That's from Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft. As always, make sure to go check out our VUTV social media. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram, all of those at Valpo VUTV. We have updated our website, valpovutv.org, for the new school year, and with even more new and exclusive content from all of our mini shows, including our premiere Monday evening newscast, 15 News at 5, and our newest program, 15 in the Morning. For the new Sparked viewers out there, feel free to go back and check out every single episode on demand at valpovutv.org/sparked. We had some wonderful adventures last year, including making a tornado or lava lamp. We used just household items, all the way to we produced music with musical produce. Well, that's it for now. I'm Colin Luft, and this has been VUTV Sparked, the show keeping you up to date on everything in the world of science, technology, and innovation. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and we will see you again next time. Thanks for watching.